think that there was a lot of kind of hurdles that an applicant had to survive in the process. And yes, there were quantitative components like academic grades or things like that, but we're always looking closely at what the student did outside the classroom. Because again, to go back to Stanford's mission statement, we're looking to admit kids that were creative, that were problem solvers, that were looking to have an impact on the world. So just having good grades was not really going to be enough. We wanted more than that. So what do Stanford admissions officers value? Well, quite frankly, the term that we used in the admissions office was always vitality, intellectual vitality. Now, what does that mean? That's what Stanford was looking for there is like kids that had taken their learning beyond the confines of the classroom. These were students that, yes, they got great grades, but they were never ever going to let their learning be limited to just classroom. Here's how Stanford sort of defined intellectual vitality. Stanford students possess, I'm sorry, here's how Stanford kind of addresses intellectual vitality with the prompt, which is they're going to ask you a specific question. The Stanford community is deeply curious and driven to learn in and out of the classroom. Reflect on an idea or an experience that makes you genuinely excited about learning. Now, this is actually the Stanford essay question, where they're connecting this question back to Stanford's mission statement, which is we're trying to admit curious kids that want to solve problems. So in the Stanford application, they're going to ask, reflect on an idea or an experience that makes you genuinely excited about learning. Deconstructing the question really quickly. Well, all right. So I'm sorry, I'm going to go back here. Um, Intellectual vitality is the hurdle that you have to survive then to get admitted into Stanford. Okay. 3 common mistakes. What are the mistakes that are made when kids apply to Stanford? The first mistake I would say is that they're they're really only about grades, that they don't have anything that goes beyond grades. There's no evidence of curiosity in the application or in their extracurricular activities. There's no evidence of the student saying, gosh, I'm really interested in this. I'd like to explore this. So when I worked at Stanford, yes, we absolutely had kids that started their own business. We absolutely had kids that did research. We had kids that were amazing athletes and artists and singers. So we had a lot of different things there that we looked at. So one common pitfall that we've got with a Stanford student or Stanford applicant is that the student didn't do much beyond grades. The second common pitfall that we had with applicants would be letters of recommendation that were lacking, letters of recommendation that did not really illustrate the student's curiosity or vitality in the classroom. I would say that's a second one. And perhaps the third one then would be essays that did not spark or pop, essays where the student did not show that curiosity that we valued. All right, academics. Let's see what we've got here. You know, when it came to the academic or numeric evaluation of the applicant, um, I would say that most kids had really good scores. That was not the problem. I think that with a school like Stanford, the assumption was you're going to have solid grades. Now, do your grades have to be perfect? No, they don't. At the same time, um, you have to show that evidence that you're a student that wants to learn and loves to learn. Extracurriculars were incredibly important in the evaluation process. These are the second hurdle of the evaluation process, where I would look at this is where you're showing your vitality, basically, what you did outside the classroom and what you wrote about. This is the stuff where it's like, um, I would really kind of see if I've got the type of student that's going to thrive in our curious entrepreneurial environment. Um, you know, your extracurriculars do not have to just be at your school; they can be part of the community. And you want to really take on leadership. And oh, I'll say this: it was always about the depth of your engagement with extracurriculars, rather than the number of extracurriculars that you did. Then finally, your application will come together in the essay section, um, where everything is coming together, where you're writing a strong essay, and the letters of recommendation align. Ideally, as in Stanford Reader, I am looking for that theme of curiosity and exploration throughout everything.